Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wall, and this is episode 392 of the Ping Pong Flick Show. Quite a few updates for you tonight. DCEU is thriving, but we still got a little bits of the Snyder Cut we got to talk about. Fabian Wagner dropped another picture. This one we've seen before. Sundays for bats, and every bat loves a good backlight. Hashtag Justice League. And of course, this is a shot of Ben Affleck as Batman, looking really dope in that warehouse scene. Greatly lit, greatly color correction. This is how he should look like. Even the behind the scenes looks better than what Justice League put out. Think about that for a second. But I'm really thankful that Fabian Wagner continues to drop hints about this. Now, another thing on Instagram, Gerard Marantz is a work spans over the film, game, and television industries. He's a concept artist, a creature designer, and costume concept illustrator. He was involved in creating the character designs for Steppenwolf. And judging from this Instagram video, he's also the one who actually designed some of that work for Darkseid as well.
I have. Yes, I did. Snyder released some images of Uxas. I think those were previs images, but I did the concept art for that character. I would love to see the Snyder Cut. I did a lot of work that I really never got to see on the big screen, so I'd love to see how that stuff turned out.
Now, looking at that Instagram, it is for sure he is one of just another crew member of Justice League who wants to have the Snyder Cut release. He's worked hard on his concept. He's hoping that we can finally see his concept on screen, and we would absolutely love to see his work. Unfortunately, we probably won't see his demonic, diabolical looking Steppenwolf that he designed, but maybe, hopefully, we will finally get to see his Darkseid design, and that's something that's really cool. The other tidbit that he actually pulled out was that the image of Darkseid that Zack Snyder had posted on Vero was apparently a previs. It's not a post-viz. It's not an actual part of the movie. It's a pre-viz shot, according to Gerard Marantz. So that also is interesting to hear that from an actual crew member from Justice League. But it does show a lot of detail, and at least for just a little bit of justice for him, that someone out there, and everybody out there, can finally kind of see what he was working on for Uxas. And that's how he pronounces Uxas. I think I've been pronouncing it all wrong. I don't know. I thought it was Uxas. I was Uxas, but according to Gerard, it's Uxas. But in any case, it's a fantastic concept art designer. I hope to get to see more work of him, and I hope to get to see maybe the 214. Maybe he has a different Steppenwolf. I don't know that. I'm probably not, but it would be such a crazy thing to see if possible, and if they ever think of working on it, they could just add his Steppenwolf inside the design, except for the one we got. But yeah, hey, whatever. If that's the Steppenwolf we had to have, then that's the Steppenwolf we've had to have. As long as Zack Snyder says go ahead with that 214 cut, right? So now, just talking a little bit about the Snyder Cut, but not really. Chris Dawson has been hard at work with the Justice League Black Suit Edition, and just moments ago, we got to see a clip, an actual prologue clip, he's saying, of the Black Suit Edition. It's titled The Bunker, and you can go ahead and check it out in the description below. The Bunker Justice League Black Suit Edition clip, and it is phenomenal. Who are you, Chris Dawson? How are you able to do this? It's amazing stuff. You see that scene in the nightmare scene when Batman's about to get killed by Superman, then Superman, his lasers, his eyes start flaring up, and then we see the Flash. Of course, it's Ezra Miller. He's not in his Flash costume or anything, and I'm gathering he's probably got that from another movie as Ezra Miller, but it flows so nicely. It's like it's meant to be there. He's slowed down. He's watching the laser eyes, the eye beams go past him, and he zooms out. It's amazing stuff. It's just something that we've never seen before. I don't even know what kind of story arc he's handling here. I have no idea what original story he's pulling out from here, right? It's not going to be just Justice League with a different color correction, with the Junkie XL Hans Zimmer music added in. It's not going to be cutting out some jokey here and things in there. This is actually re-editing, remaking, actually adding in material, putting and processing in a new way. It's a different story altogether, and that's why it's so flippin' exciting. And it's probably one of my highest anticipated movies of this year, and it's not even to come out in theaters. It's crazy how this is exciting me more than a lot of movies that are coming out this year, and that is a good thing. And I think you guys should be excited as well. Go ahead and give Chris Dawson a follow at C Dawson Author. Subscribe to that channel, and wait for more. There's gonna be more clips, or hopefully another trailer. The movie itself, maybe. I can't wait to see this Justice League Black Suit Edition. So, on to the newest DC movie that's coming out later this year, October 4th to be exact. This movie has come out at the Venice Film Festival with a rip-roaring applaud. And there is so much good positive reviews right now. It's incredibly amazing. Right now, I don't, if you care or not, doesn't matter. It's sitting at a Rotten Tomatoes score of 88%. That means 88% of the critics that are inserting the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes are giving it a fresh review, and that is a lot, especially for people who want to disregard DC films, and we've always seen that happen. And it's great to see, even though I don't care for Rotten Tomatoes, and I want to judge the movie about myself, it does feel a little good that they're recognizing a DC film in a good light, and hasn't happened for a while since since we've the negativity between Zack Snyder's work, David Ayer's work, it went up in Wonder Woman, went back down in Justice League, went kind of up in Aquaman, and then really went up for Shazam. But now it's gonna go up again with Joker, even with an Oscar nod as well. So that's quite amazing. The other thing that's great about this is that it's not even in the DCEU, right? It's its own standalone original take on a villain. And I found this comment from Jim Lee, his little review about this, and kind of taking it from him as a DC person, and how he looks at it through DC eyes is quite interesting. I mean, even Henry Cavill says he can't wait to see this movie. So Jim Lee said this: director Todd Phillips' Joker movie's intense, raw, and soulful. He's talked about how his take on the Joker is not beholden to the character's comic book roots. That said, there is absolutely nothing in this film incongruous with our understanding of who the Joker is. If anything, Joaquin Phoenix's mesmerizing and unsettling turn as the Joker gives us deep and fully realized look into one of our favorite villains, and I'm sure elements will be embraced going forward in our ongoing, ever-evolving mythology. That's what powerful, compelling stories do. And without a doubt, longtime DC fans will be spending a lot of time unpacking the many story revelations and questions this harrowing cautionary tale raises. Hashtag Joker, the Joker DC Comics. So, fantastic words from Jim Lee himself, and that should probably keep a lot of DC fans at ease. Although a lot of DC fans may not like this movie. It's hard to say. The reviews are have different words and different sayings, and I challenge you not to read any of the reviews in depth. Maybe you can just have a quote or two, but I really encourage you to go to the movie with your own feelings and thoughts with it. But I gather you probably want to hear a little snippet of what certain people have to say. So does the movie live up to expectations? Zan Brooks from Guardian says, what a glorious, daring, and explosive film. Nerdist is pleased to report that this movie is really, really good. And it's a definitely game changer for comic book films, says John Nguyen at Nerd Reactor. But will it appeal to those who don't care for the genre? Joker isn't just an awesome comic book movie, it's an awesome movie, period, said Jim Vejvoda at IGN Movies. Brandon Davis from Comic Book Movie says it's different in every other imaginable way. From all comic book movies before it, there has never been a movie like this in the genre. On multiple levels, it's the most challenging, subversive, and nihilistic comic book movie ever made, said Jordan Farley from Total Film. What about DC fans? What do they have to say about this? So Joker is a human-sized and adult-oriented comic book movie that Marvel critics have been clamoring for. DCEU fans will feel as if they died and seen the Snyder Cut. David Ehrlich from IndieWire says, and that is that kind of makes me chuckle that he included the Snyder Cut in his review, and that's kind of cool. At the same time, like, really, I don't know if that's really the case, but I'm thinking he's trying to emphasize the excitement level of this movie. How does this Joker compare to previous portrayals? Nerdist says Joaquin Phoenix is throwing his hat in the ring for the title of the greatest Joker of all time, and he is a serious contender. Marlo Stern from Daily Beast says Phoenix has crafted a layer terror-inducing antagonist and earned his rightful place alongside Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson in the pantheon of all-time great Jokers. So Phoenix is good then. Joaquin Phoenix is outstanding. He will be nominated for his work here, rightly so, says Jenna Bush from VitalThrills.com. Justin Chang from Los Angeles Times says it's a raw, festering wound of a performance that flirts with virtuosity and redundancy alike. Big words, of course. If you live to see Joaquin Phoenix to go performing extremes like nobody's business, this movie really is the apotheosis of that, says Glenn Kenny from RogerEbert.com. Stephanie Zacharek from Time says Phoenix is acting so hard you can feel the desperation throbbing in his veins. So apparently, I mean, this is going to be a movie that he's going to be nominated for. I feel like it will be, and I'm excited. And just seeing the trailer alone, you know that's the case. You know he's giving it all, 110% all into this character. Kind of like what Heath Ledger did, gave it his all as well into the Joker for The Dark Knight. And also, they're talking about how disturbing this movie is. Glenn Kenny from Roger Ebert says the violence in this movie means to shock, and it does, which is interesting because you don't really see that violence within the trailer at all, really. So I'm really wondering how bloody does this thing get. Brandon Davis from comicbook.com, Joker offers up terrifying levels of tension. In fact, it's scarier than most horror films of the year, with its gritty, scary levels of realism. Wow, that's really interesting. But it's very Martin Scorsese. I mean, you really don't know when someone's gonna die. You know, that's how violent that is. It's so shocking when someone gets offed, and it's just it's raw in that aspect. Let's see. How is Todd Phillips directing? Phillips is a long way from the Hangover trilogy. He keeps the pacing steady and satisfying over 2 hours, fueling the suspense and modulating the peaks and climactic builds with assurance, says David Rooney from The Hollywood Reporter. But there could be some major problems, and here are some of them. Unfortunately, the film errs its on-the-nose depiction of politics and class warfare, says Marlo Stern from Daily Beast. As social commentary, Joker is a pernicious garbage. I don't really know what that means. Phillips may want us to think he's giving us a movie about all the emptiness of our culture, but really he's just offering a prime example of it. Stephanie Zachary from Time Is, which could be its intention. Joker poses a movie worthy of serious thought, but lacks the courage to behave like one, says David Ehrlich from IndieWire. The movie is chock full of so many themes at so many different times, it'll leave your head spinning, says Jermaine Lezier from IO9. And finally, if there is shortcoming, it's that in taking inspiration so transparently from Scorsese's late 70s, early 80s output, Joker is a film that exists squarely in Marty's shadow, says Jordan Farley, Total Film. So I kind of felt that could be the case, where because it's really trying to be a Martin Scorsese film, it never gets to be a Martin Scorsese film, and that could lend itself, because we're starting to see it's an inspiration, it's a tribute to Martin Scorsese films, and it's not really the film itself. So I don't know, but we'll see when we finally watch it in October 4th when it comes out. And so that is it. 88% right now. Critics' consensus is Joker gives its infamous central character a chillingly plausible origin story that serves as a brilliant showcase for its star and a dark evolution for comics-inspired cinema. So it does excite me a little bit more, but like I said, I'm not going to read intently into a lot of that review, just snippets of it, just to get you an idea. But it does make me very intrigued, very excited, interested to watch this film. And I think for everybody who wants something different, something that's not part of DCEU, a highly character study drama, a Martin Scorsese-like film with an element, with inspiration from the DC Comics without heavily divulging into the DC Comics realm, should be interested to watch this movie. But I'll tell you how I feel about it and my review when the movie comes out on October 4th, or 3rd or 4th. Which one is it? I don't know. But one of those days, I'm going to watch it, I'm going to review it, and I'll let you know how I feel about it. And hopefully at the same time, you go out and check it out for yourself to see how you like or not like the movie. But movies are subjective, and that's why we go and watch it and give our own opinions and thoughts about that. So that's all. All right, guys. Well, that is it for tonight. I hope you all are having a wonderful 3-day Labor Day weekend. If you're not, hope you had a wonderful weekend. All right. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.